Traveling by plane can be stressful. Long lines, tight seats, and confusing rules. And for older travelers, it can feel even more overwhelming. But here's the good news. Being a senior actually comes with some surprising travel benefits that most people don't know about. Some airlines offer discounts just for seniors, while others allow early boarding or even free checked bags. But they don't always tell you about it. That's why I put together this list of 12 travel tips specifically for seniors that can make your trip easier, cheaper, and way more comfortable. Whether you're flying for fun, visiting family, or going on a once-in-a-lifetime trip, these tips can really make a difference. And stick around. Tip number 7 might be something you've never heard before. Let's get started with the first secret: saving money with senior discounts. You've probably seen discounts for kids or students. But did you know some airlines also offer special deals for seniors? They just don't advertise them. That's right. A few airlines, especially regional and budget ones, quietly offer lower fares for passengers over a certain age, usually 60 or 65. The catch? You usually have to ask. These discounts often aren't listed on the website, and you might only find out by calling customer service or asking at the ticket counter. For example, Southwest used to offer senior fares, and while they've changed how they list them, it's always worth checking. Same goes for international airlines. Some offer reduced fares or extra perks for senior travelers. The key takeaway: don't assume the price you see online is the final deal. A quick call or question could save you some serious cash. Quick break. If you're finding these travel hacks helpful, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a tip. And drop a comment below. What's your ultimate travel hack? Baggage fees can add up fast, but if you're a senior, you might be able to skip them altogether. Some airlines, especially international carriers, and those partnered with certain senior travel programs, offer 1 or even 2 free checked bags for older travelers. Others might waive fees if you're a member of their loyalty program, or booking through a senior-specific travel agency. It's not always obvious, so the trick here is to ask directly when booking or checking in. Also, look into organizations like AARP or AAA. They sometimes partner with airlines to offer extra baggage perks. And even if an airline doesn't have a clear senior baggage policy, gate agents can occasionally make exceptions, especially on less crowded flights. Being polite and prepared can go a long way. No one likes the boarding scramble, fighting for overhead bin space and rushing to your seat. But seniors often qualify for early boarding without paying extra. You just have to know how to ask. Most US airlines, including Southwest and American Airlines, allow travelers who need a little more time to board early. You don't need a wheelchair or medical note. Just let the gate agent know you'd appreciate pre-boarding or extra time to settle in. They're usually very accommodating. This perk is especially helpful if you're carrying medication, using a mobility aid, or just prefer to get on board calmly and without the rush. If you're flying internationally, check with the airline ahead of time. Some offer age-based early boarding as part of their customer service for senior travelers. Good seating can make or break a flight, especially for longer trips. And the good news? Seniors can often get better seats without spending extra, if they know how to ask. Many airlines allow travelers with mobility concerns to request aisle seats or seats closer to the front of the plane. These aren't technically upgrades, but they make it easier to get on and off the aircraft. And they're often available for free if you speak to a booking agent or check-in staff. Avoid exit row seats, though. Airlines usually restrict those to younger, able-bodied passengers due to emergency procedures. If you use a cane, walker, or just want to be closer to the restroom, make your needs known. Airlines are more flexible than you might think when it comes to seniors. Airports can feel like a marathon. Long hallways, multiple terminals, and tight connection times. If walking long distances is a challenge, most airlines offer free mobility assistance, including wheelchairs and electric carts, but you have to request it in advance. Here's how it works. When you book your flight, there's usually an option to note special assistance. If you miss it, just call the airline's customer service line at least 48 hours before your trip. At the airport, you'll be met by a staff member who can escort you through check-in, security, and even to your gate. This service is especially helpful during layovers or when flying through large hubs like Atlanta or Dallas. And don't worry, you don't need to be disabled to request it. It's available to anyone who could use a little help getting around. Security checkpoints can be stressful, but seniors actually get a few helpful breaks. Especially in the US, if you're 75 or older, the TSA allows you to keep your shoes and light jackets on during screening. That means less hassle, less bending over, and a quicker, more comfortable process. You can also request to go through a slower or seated pat-down if standing for long periods is tough. Want an even smoother experience? Consider enrolling in TSA PreCheck, a program that lets you use a faster lane with fewer rules. It costs a small fee and lasts 5 years, but many senior travelers say it's totally worth it for the convenience alone. Also, don't be shy. If you need more time or privacy, just tell a TSA officer. They're trained to assist older travelers. Traveling with medication? You're not alone. And keeping your meds organized and TSA ready is super important for a stress-free trip. First, always pack medications in your carry-on, not your checked luggage. Lost bags happen, and you don't want to risk being without something important. Keep prescriptions in their original labeled containers. It helps with TSA and customs, especially if you're traveling internationally. If you use daily pill organizers, that's fine too. Just carry a list of your medications and dosages, or even a note from your doctor if you take anything that might raise questions, like injectables or controlled substances. Also, pack a few extra days' worth of meds, just in case your return is delayed. Don't forget over-the-counter items you rely on, like pain relievers or allergy meds. Airports and resorts often charge double. Long flights can take a toll on your body, especially as you get older. But with a few simple habits, you can stay comfortable and reduce health risks while in the air. One of the biggest concerns for senior travelers is circulation. Sitting for long periods can increase the risk of blood clots. That's why many doctors recommend wearing compression socks during flights. They improve blood flow and help prevent swelling in your legs and feet. It's also a good idea to get up and walk the aisle every hour or so, or at least do some gentle leg and foot stretches in your seat. Staying hydrated is just as important. Airplane cabins are super dry, and dehydration can sneak up on you. So bring a refillable water bottle and sip regularly, even if you don't feel thirsty. Packing doesn't have to be a chore, especially if you focus on comfort, convenience, and just the essentials. First, go with lightweight luggage that has wheels and a sturdy handle. 4-wheel spinner suitcases are easier to roll, especially through airports. For carry-ons, look for bags that fit under the seat and don't require overhead lifting. Your back will thank you. Keep your most important items easy to reach: medication, travel documents, reading glasses, snacks, and a charger. Packing cubes or zippered pouches can help keep things organized so you're not digging through your bag at the gate. And don't forget to label everything clearly, especially if you're connecting flights or checking a bag. A brightly colored tag or ribbon can make your bag easier to spot on the carousel. Layovers can be one of the most exhausting parts of air travel, especially if you're rushing through a huge airport or dealing with delays. But with a little planning, they don't have to be stressful. If possible, try to book longer layovers, at least 90 minutes for domestic and 2 hours for international flights. That gives you time to move at your own pace, grab a snack, and find your gate without feeling rushed. Also, don't be afraid to request assistance between gates. Most airlines can arrange for a wheelchair, cart, or even a staff escort. Just ask in advance or at check-in. And if your layover is longer, consider airports with good amenities. like seating areas with charging stations, senior-friendly lounges, or quiet zones. No one wants to think about getting sick or injured on a trip, but having the right travel insurance can save you a lot of stress and money if something goes wrong. Many seniors assume Medicare will cover them overseas, but it usually doesn't. That's why it's a good idea to get a travel insurance plan that includes emergency medical coverage, trip cancellation, and coverage for lost luggage. There are affordable options tailored for older travelers, and some even include 24/7 access to nurses or emergency services. If you already have a Medicare Advantage or supplemental plan, check to see if they offer any travel protection. Also, bring copies of your insurance cards and emergency contact info, and keep them in your carry-on just in case. If you fly even once or twice a year, joining an airline's loyalty program is a smart move, and it's free. Many seniors miss out on easy perks like early boarding, seat upgrades, or even free flights just because they never signed up. Even if you don't fly often, points can add up through partner programs, like hotels, rental cars, or even credit card purchases. Some loyalty programs even offer special assistance or extra benefits for older travelers, like dedicated phone lines or waived fees. Bottom line, don't leave those rewards on the table. They really do pay off. Traveling as a senior doesn't have to be stressful. In fact, it can be easier and more rewarding than ever when you know the right tips. From hidden discounts and easier boarding to smart packing and health prep, these 12 travel secrets can truly transform your flying experience. Remember, the key is to ask questions, plan ahead, and advocate for yourself. The airlines won't always offer these perks up front, but once you know what to look for, the benefits are there. If you found these tips helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share your own travel hacks in the comments.